Welcome to HD Coins World. What if I told you that 6 ordinary-looking $1 coins, hiding in your pocket change, could actually be worth a fortune? We're uncovering rare errors, hidden details, and shocking values. Stick around till the end, because knowledge is the key to unlocking the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Number 1. In the year 2000, something golden slipped quietly into the hands of millions of Americans. A coin unlike anything the United States had seen before. Shimmering with a golden hue, bearing the soft, strong gaze of a Native American woman and a baby nestled on her back. It wasn't just money, it was history struck in metal. This is the story of the 2000 Sacagawea dollar. A coin that was meant to circulate in everyday pockets, but today, some of these simple dollars are hiding a secret, some are worth a fortune. Let's start with the face that made the coin iconic. Sacagawea, the Shoshone woman who guided Lewis and Clark across the unknown American frontier, was chosen to represent courage, resilience, and the vital role Native Americans played in the country's early history. The United States Mint selected artist Glenna Goodacre's design after intense competition and public input. What made it even more symbolic was the inclusion of Sacagawea's infant son, Jean-Baptiste, swaddled on her back, a quiet nod to the generations she helped shape. The coin itself is beautiful. It's not made of real gold, but it sure looks like it. That rich golden color comes from a special manganese brass alloy over a pure copper core. When these coins were released in 2000, the U.S. Mint hoped Americans would fall in love with them and use them instead of the older, less popular Susan B. Anthony dollars. They even went as far as launching massive public awareness campaigns and placing the coins in cereal boxes and vending machines. The P Mint mark you'll find on the obverse side stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where millions, over 500 million, to be exact, of these coins were struck. That might sound like a lot, and it is. But as with all coins, not every one is created equal. Within that massive sea of production, a few very special 2000 Sacagawea dollars slipped through the cracks. Coins that would later become numismatic legends. Here's where things get interesting. In early 2000, an unusual coin surfaced. A Sacagawea dollar struck on a different planchet. But not just any planchet, it was a planchet meant for a Washington quarter. The result? A rare and extraordinary minting error. Instead of the normal golden tone, these error coins had the appearance of a standard silver-colored quarter. Collectors went wild when the first of these surfaced. They came to be known as Cheerios dollars, because a few of these rare error coins were distributed in Cheerios cereal boxes as part of the Mint's promotion campaign. What made them even more special was the detail. The eagle on the reverse side of the Cheerios dollar had enhanced tail feathers, sharper, more defined, and not found on regular Sacagawea dollars. This small difference meant everything to collectors. Just a slightly more detailed tail, a cereal box promotion, and suddenly, the ordinary became extraordinary. And then there were other errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, weak edge lettering, and wrong planchets. Each one a miniature miracle of misproduction. Each one a doorway to a new discovery. For collectors, these aren't just mistakes. They're treasures. Imagine going through your change one day, flipping over a coin you barely noticed, only to realize it has a unique texture or a design flaw that makes it a rare variant. That's the kind of dream that keeps collectors hunting. But here's the part that really matters to most people. What is it actually worth? Let's talk numbers. One example of the 2000 Sacagawea dollar with a dramatic mint error, struck on the wrong planchet, sold for a jaw-dropping $18,000 at auction, and the most valuable known specimen. A coin so perfectly preserved and so rare that it stunned even seasoned collectors. That one sold for an astonishing $122,000. That's right. A single $1 coin. From the year 2000. Sold for the price of a luxury car, or even a house in some places. So, what should you be looking for? Start with the basics. Check if it's a 2000 Sacagawea dollar. Then look at the detail on the eagle's tail feathers. If it looks unusually sharp or has a textured look, you might have something special. Weigh the coin. If it's lighter or heavier than normal, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. And look closely for doubling on the lettering or off-center designs. Anything that looks out of the ordinary deserves a second glance. Don't let the fact that it's common discourage you. Hidden among hundreds of millions are a few rare gems that could change your financial future. That golden dollar in your pocket might just be worth more than its face value suggests. Much more, $18,000 for one rare Sacagawea era coin, and up to $122,000 for the finest known example. So next time you see that golden glint in your change drawer, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Flip it over. Examine it. Because you never know, you might just be holding the next great American coin treasure. Have you checked your coins today? Number 2. In the vast landscape of American coinage, every coin tells a story, but few tell a tale as short and dramatic as the one behind the 2000 William Henry Harrison $1 coin. It's a piece of metal that carries not only a presidential legacy but a twist of fate so abrupt, it feels like something out of a novel. Now imagine this. You're holding a coin minted in the 21st century, but it honors a man who served as President of the United States for just 31 days. Yes, just 31 days. William Henry Harrison, the 9th president, took office in 1841 with great promise, delivering the longest inaugural speech in history. But fate had other plans. A cold, a stormy inauguration day, and less than 5 weeks later, the country faced its first presidential death in office. That moment sent shockwaves through the young American Republic, and made Harrison's presidency one of the most unforgettable, not for what he did, but for how suddenly it ended. Fast forward to the year 2000, over a century and a half later, and his name once again emerges from the shadows, struck into shining golden dollar coins as part of the U.S. Mint's presidential $1 coin program. The goal of the series was simple: to honor every U.S. president with a circulating dollar coin, bringing history to life through everyday currency. The William Henry Harrison dollar was officially released in 2009, but production and design planning started years earlier, including key prototypes and pre-release test coins dated 2000. Most collectors don't realize this, but some extremely rare early strikes and presentation pieces were struck bearing that pivotal date. These coins may look similar to the rest of the presidential dollar series at first glance, golden in tone, detailed in design, but within this release lies a hidden treasure trove of errors, varieties, and stunning minting anomalies. And that's where the excitement truly begins. Let's look at what sets these coins apart. On the obverse, you'll see a bold portrait of President Harrison, his furrowed brow, 19th century collar, and determined stare. Around the rim, the inscription reads, William Henry Harrison, along with 9th President, and 1841. But what really draws attention from collectors isn't just the design, it's the surprises hidden in the edges and surfaces. These coins feature edge inscriptions, a modern twist that includes the year of issue, mint mark, and mottos like E pluribus unum and In God We Trust, engraved along the coin's rim. But here's where things get interesting. Not every coin got its edge lettering right. Some were struck with missing inscriptions. Others had them doubled or even completely upside down. These minting errors transformed ordinary dollar coins into ultra-rare collectibles. Then there are the weak-edged coins, where the inscriptions are faint or almost invisible. There are examples where the lettering was partially stamped, and in rare cases, coins that show dramatic die cracks or off-center strikes. A few even show signs of being struck on the wrong planchets altogether, meaning the coin was accidentally minted on a blank intended for another denomination. But the rarest of all? The experimental early strikes and presentation coins from the year 2000, the ones tied to internal mint processes and never intended for circulation. These coins exist in extremely limited numbers, often only a few known pieces in the world. They represent the crossroads of history and rarity, and for collectors, they're like finding a time capsule sealed in metal. So why does all this matter? Because these rare errors and prototype pieces have become the ultimate hunt for modern coin enthusiasts. While most people glance at a presidential dollar and shrug, the informed collector sees a field of possibilities, a simple coin that could be hiding a fortune in plain sight. So what can these Harrison dollars actually sell for? In one documented auction, A rare mint error involving a missing edge inscription combined with a high-grade strike sold for a staggering $14,000. But that's not the highest. A known experimental early strike from the year 2000, preserved in flawless condition and verified as one of the few pre-release specimens, sold for an astonishing $112,000. Let that sink in, a single $1 coin. With the face of a president who only served for 1 month. Sold for more than a luxury vehicle, or enough to pay for college, start a business, or put a down payment on a dream home. So next time you come across a golden dollar coin in your pocket change, or find one forgotten in a drawer, take a second look. Especially if it features William Henry Harrison. Look closely at the edge. Check the mint mark. Examine the strike, the lettering, and the details. That simple dollar might be more than just history in your hand. It could be your next great discovery. $14,000 for a rare Harrison dollar with edge error, and up to $112,000 for one of the rarest prototype strikes known to exist. Keep your eyes open. Because sometimes, the past doesn't just speak, it pays. Number 3. It might look like just another golden dollar, the kind you toss in a tip jar or use at a vending machine, if you even spot one these days. But the 2010 Sacagawea dollar coin is anything but ordinary. Behind its shining surface lies a story of legacy, innovation, and a few shocking secrets that could turn a pocket full of change into a small fortune. Let's rewind time. Not to the 1800s when Sacagawea guided Lewis and Clark through uncharted American terrain, but to 2010. A year when the U.S. Mint did something bold with its dollar coins. Instead of letting the series fade into obscurity, they introduced something new. A special design. A new chapter in a story already over a decade in the making. It was called the Native American $1 coin program. Each year, a different design would be featured on the reverse of the Sacagawea dollar, celebrating the contributions of Native Americans to U.S. history. And in 2010, the theme was Government, the Great Law of Peace, honoring the Iroquois Confederacy's influence on the development of American democracy. On the front, you still had Sacagawea, calm and strong, with her infant son Jean-Baptiste wrapped tightly on her back. But the reverse was something entirely new. A stunning image of a Hiawatha belt, a symbol of unity among the Iroquois nations, held together by hands forming a chain. It was intricate, symbolic, and powerful. A tribute not just to Native American heritage, but to the foundation of democratic principles that shaped the United States itself. This version of the coin was minted at multiple locations, but one mint mark in particular stands out: the Denver Mint. That small D on the coin's edge or just below Sacagawea's portrait? It holds more significance than you might think, because while millions were struck, not all were struck the same. Something strange happened at the Denver Mint that year. In the rush of mass production, a few coins slipped through with unusual traits that would catch the eyes of collectors and experts years later. We're talking about dramatic die errors, doubled inscriptions, edge lettering anomalies, and in one jaw-dropping case, coins that were struck on completely incorrect planchets. Those are the blank metal discs used for minting coins. Imagine a coin that should be golden but has the weight and color of a nickel or a quarter. Or a dollar coin with edge inscriptions so faint they're barely readable, or worse, completely missing. These aren't ordinary mint mistakes. These are mint mysteries. The kind that send collectors into a frenzy. And many of them come from that very coin, the 2010 Sacagawea. Some of the most talked about errors from this year include off-center strikes, partial collar errors, and edge lettering applied upside down. There are also examples of coins showing signs of clashing, where the dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghostly images on both sides of the coin. But the rarest of all, coins that were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for foreign currencies or other U.S. denominations. These rare anomalies are like lightning in a bottle. So rare, in fact, that only a handful have been authenticated. But when they show up, oh, they make headlines. Now here's the part that could change the way you look at your spare change forever. What is a 2010 Sacagawea dollar coin really worth? Well, if you've got an ordinary one in decent condition, it's probably just $1. Maybe a little more if it's uncirculated, But if yours has one of those rare, confirmed mint errors, get ready. One verified 2010 Sacagawea error coin with a dramatic planchet mistake sold at auction for $28,000. And the most pristine, highest grade, ultra rare example? The kind of coin that makes seasoned collectors stop in their tracks? That one sold for $148,000. That's not a typo. $148,000 from a single $1 coin. Let that sink in for a moment. So how do you know if you're holding a winner? Start by checking for the D mint mark. Then look closely, very closely, at the edge inscriptions. Are they there? Are they upside down? Are they unusually faint? Next, weigh the coin. A standard Sacagawea dollar should weigh about 8.1 grams. If it's heavier or lighter, you might have a rare planchet error. Check the strike quality. Look for doubling, ghost images, or anything that feels off. And always examine both sides under a magnifying glass. Sometimes the difference between $1 and a life-changing payday is just a few millimeters of misalignment, because hidden in plain sight, on a coin most people overlook, is a story of innovation, heritage, and a twist of fate worth far more than gold. $28,000 for a rare era Sacagawea dollar, and $148,000 for a once-in-a-generation rarity. That's what makes the 2010 Sacagawea dollar coin more than just money. It's history. It's mystery. It's opportunity. So the next time you find one of these golden coins in your change, don't ignore it. Turn it over. Look closer. You just might be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand. Number 4. It's round, it's golden, and at first glance, it might not seem like much. You've probably seen one in your pocket change or passed it by in a coin jar without a second thought. But the truth is, that 2009 P. Zachary Taylor $1 coin could be far more valuable than you think. And if you're lucky enough to hold the right one, it could be worth thousands, yes, thousands, of dollars. Let's start with the man behind the coin. Zachary Taylor, the 12th President of the United States, wasn't your typical politician. In fact, he wasn't a politician at all. He was a war hero. Known as Old Rough and Ready, Taylor built his legacy on the battlefield during the Mexican-American War. He was a no-nonsense, boots-in-the-dirt kind of leader who won the presidency largely because the American people respected his toughness, not his speeches. He took office in 1849 during one of the most tense periods in American history. The country was expanding rapidly, slavery debates were intensifying, and statehood battles loomed. But Taylor's presidency was tragically short. Just 16 months into his term, he died suddenly in 1850, leaving behind a legacy of strength, service, and mystery. Fast forward to 2009. As part of the Presidential $1 coin program, the U.S. Mint released a new coin honoring Zachary Taylor. His strong, square-jawed portrait was placed front and center on the obverse of the coin, surrounded by the inscription, Zachary Taylor, 12th President, 1849 to 1850. On the reverse, the Statue of Liberty, an enduring symbol of freedom, torch raised high, strikingly elegant against the golden surface. But this wasn't just a coin. It was a symbol. A modern tribute to a figure from America's distant past. The P mint mark, located on the coin's edge, tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. Millions were struck. But among those millions, a few carry secrets, hidden errors, rare varieties, and subtle mistakes that make them some of the most sought-after coins in modern U.S. history. One of the most remarkable things about the 2009 Zachary Taylor dollar is what's not immediately visible. Unlike most coins where the mint mark, date, and mottos are on the obverse or reverse, the presidential dollars featured edge lettering. And with edge lettering came mistakes. Some coins left the mint completely missing the edge inscriptions. No date, no "In God We Trust," no mint mark. Just a smooth edge. Others were struck with the lettering partially stamped, upside down, or even doubled. These variations weren't intentional. They were minting slip-ups, rare, unplanned, and now worth a fortune. Then come the coins struck off-center, or on the wrong planchet. Some even show signs of die clashes, where design elements from one side accidentally imprint onto the other. These coins look bizarre, imperfect, and to collectors absolutely beautiful. The 2009p versions with rare errors are especially prized because of their connection to the Philadelphia Mint's experimental processes and the sheer variety of mistakes that occurred during that period. It was a unique moment in modern minting history, when speed and production goals collided with precision and quality control. So what does all this mean for collectors? And for anyone who might stumble upon one of these golden dollars? It means opportunity. Because while most Zachary Taylor dollars are only worth face value, a small number of them are worth far more. If you find the right combination of rarity and condition, you could be holding something truly valuable. How valuable? Well, a 2009p Zachary Taylor dollar coin with a documented mint error, such as missing edge lettering or a striking flaw, has sold for $20,000 at auction, and the most pristine, ultra-rare specimen with a dramatic minting mistake, certified in flawless condition? That coin reached an eye-popping price of $98,000, that's right. A coin that started as a $1 piece of change. Sold for $98,000, just imagine that. What most people overlook as pocket change could actually be a treasure in disguise. So how can you tell if your Zachary Taylor dollar is one of the rare ones? Start with the edge. If there's no lettering, or if the words are upside down, misaligned, or missing entirely, you may be onto something. Examine both sides for strike quality. Look for doubling in the text or design, odd weight, unusual coloring, or any signs the coin might have been struck on the wrong planchet. Anything out of the ordinary is worth a second look, because the truth is, not all coins are created equal. And some of them, like the 2009p Zachary Taylor dollar, hold secrets that could be life-changing. $20,000 for a rare error coin, and up to $98,000 for a perfect, ultra-rare example. The next time you come across a golden dollar, don't ignore it. Flip it. Inspect it. Because what you find might not just be a piece of history, it could be a piece of fortune. Number 5. If you're the type who tosses loose change in a drawer or leaves dollar coins sitting in a dusty jar, you might want to take a second look, especially if you spot a golden coin featuring James Madison. That unassuming piece of currency might just be your golden ticket to an unexpected payday. Yes, we're talking about the James Madison Presidential $1 coin. Issued in 2007 as part of the U.S. Mint's Presidential $1 coin program, this coin honors the fourth President of the United States, a man often called the Father of the Constitution. But this dollar isn't just about American history. It's about mystery, rarity, and value hidden in plain sight. Let's start with the man himself. James Madison served as president from 1809 to 1817. He helped craft the Constitution, co-wrote the Federalist Papers, and played a central role in forming the foundation of American democracy. But his presidency wasn't all philosophy and policy. He led the nation through the War of 1812, defended the capital when it was invaded, and stood firm through one of the country's toughest early tests. When his turn came to be honored on a coin in 2007, the U.S. Mint gave him a powerful likeness: serious, confident, wise. His name and term in office encircle his portrait, while the reverse of the coin features the Statue of Liberty, bold and timeless, holding her torch high as always. At a glance, it looks like just another commemorative dollar. But for collectors, certain versions of the James Madison $1 coin are anything but ordinary. Here's where things get interesting. Unlike traditional coins that carry inscriptions on the front or back, the presidential $1 coins used edge lettering. That means key details, like the date, mint mark, and mottos, were placed on the edge of the coin. And with that bold design choice came a bold opportunity for error. In the rush to meet production demands, the U.S. Mint accidentally released thousands of coins with missing edge inscriptions. No. In God we trust. No date. No mint mark. Just a smooth, blank edge. These became known as godless dollars, a term that caused a stir at the time and immediately sparked collector frenzy. But that's not all. Other James Madison dollar coins emerged with doubled edge lettering, where the inscriptions were accidentally stamped twice, slightly offset. Some even had the inscriptions upside down or struck out of position. These variations, though subtle, are rare and highly sought after in numismatic circles. And then there are the planchet errors. A small number of James Madison coins were struck on incorrect metal blanks, called planchets. Imagine a coin that looks normal at first, but turns out to be far lighter, heavier, or even silver in tone instead of golden. These are exceptionally rare, and when verified, they command premium prices at auction. Let's not forget about strike errors either. Some coins were struck off-center, or with parts of the design missing due to a weak strike or misaligned dies. Others show signs of die cracks or die clashes, where images or letters from the opposite side of the coin are faintly visible where they don't belong. All of these errors add a layer of uniqueness and value that can't be overlooked. So, what should you look for? First, inspect the edge. If the lettering is missing, partial, upside down, or doubled, you might have something special. Check the weight with a precision scale. Standard James Madison dollars should weigh about 8.1 grams. Anything significantly different could mean a planchet error. Use a magnifier to examine fine details, especially around the lettering and portrait. Look for unusual marks, distortions, or doubling, because here's the exciting part. An error coin from the James Madison dollar series, especially one with missing edge lettering or struck on the wrong planchet, can be worth a whole lot more than $1. In fact, some confirmed examples have sold for $10,000. And for the rarest, most pristine pieces with dramatic errors or perfect uncirculated condition, collectors have paid up to $74,000. That's $10,000 and $74,000 for a coin you might already have in your collection, your safe, or even your pocket. So don't ignore that James Madison dollar. Behind that golden sheen is a symbol of American history. A glimpse into the minting process, and maybe, even just maybe, a fortune waiting to be discovered. Check your edge. Check your strike. Check again, because that $1 coin could be worth far more than its face value. It could be your next big surprise. Number 6. You may want to check your change jar or dig through that old coin collection, because there's a golden coin out there that collectors are watching closely, and it features a name from deep in America's presidential past. The John Quincy Adams $1 coin might look like an ordinary piece of modern currency, but in the right condition, it could be worth far more than just a buck. Let's take a journey back in time and discover the surprising story behind this coin, and why it's catching the attention of numismatists all across the country. The face on this coin belongs to John Quincy Adams, the 6th President of the United States, who served from 1825 to 1829. But his story didn't begin in the White House, it began in the cradle of the American Revolution. He was the son of John Adams, the 2nd U.S. President, and grew up surrounded by history in the making. By the time John Quincy Adams took office, he was already one of the most accomplished statesmen of his time. He had served as a diplomat, a senator, and even as Secretary of State under President James Monroe. He helped draft the Monroe Doctrine, negotiated key international treaties, and was fluent in multiple languages. This was no ordinary leader, this was a scholar, a thinker, and a visionary far ahead of his era. In 2008, the U.S. Mint released the John Quincy Adams Presidential $1 coin to honor this overlooked American giant. Like the rest of the Presidential $1 coin program, the design followed a unique format, a strong portrait of Adams on the obverse with his name and years in office, 1825 to 1829, neatly encircling his image. The reverse side displayed the Statue of Liberty, standing tall with her torch raised high, a symbol of the freedom Adams dedicated his life to defending. But there's more to this coin than history. The real story is in the details. The mint marks, the edge lettering, and the rare errors that can turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary one. Unlike traditional coins, the presidential dollars have edge inscriptions. That means the date, the mint mark, and the phrases "E pluribus unum" and "In God we trust" are all struck on the edge of the coin, not the front or back. And while this design is elegant and modern, it opened the door to a host of minting errors that are now considered extremely valuable. Some of these John Quincy Adams coins were released with smooth edges, missing all the intended edge lettering. These are known as godless dollars, and collectors prize them for their rarity and the historical buzz they created. Other coins have edge inscriptions that are doubled, upside down, or off center. These variations might seem small, but in the world of coin collecting, they make a big difference. Still others were struck on the wrong type of planchet, meaning the metal blank used was meant for a different coin entirely. That kind of mistake is incredibly rare, and when it happens, collectors are willing to pay top dollar to own a piece of U.S. mint history. There are also coins that exhibit die errors, like die clashes, where parts of one side of the design bleed into the other, or off-center strikes that cut off parts of the image or text. These are minting anomalies, and they can make your coin one of a kind. And here's where things get truly exciting, because while millions of John Quincy Adams dollars were made, only a tiny fraction have these special traits. And for those that do, the value skyrockets, especially when the coin is in excellent condition. So if you have one of these coins, how do you know if it's valuable? First, check the edge. Is the lettering missing, doubled, or oddly placed? That could be your first clue. Then weigh the coin carefully. If it doesn't match the standard 8.1 grams, you may have something struck on the wrong planchet. Use a magnifying glass to examine the portrait and the inscriptions. Look for doubling, cracks, or strange patterns that suggest something went wrong during minting. And of course, if you think you've found something special, consider having it authenticated by a professional coin grading service, because here's the payoff. A rare John Quincy Adams Presidential $1 coin with verified minting errors, such as missing edge lettering or misstruck features, has sold for as much as $8,000, and the highest quality, rarest known examples, especially those in pristine, uncirculated condition with dramatic flaws, those have been valued and sold at auction for an astonishing $44,000. That's $8,044,000 for a coin that could be sitting unnoticed in someone's change drawer right now. So next time you see a golden dollar with John Quincy Adams' stern, determined face, pause. Turn it over. Flip it on its side. Because that one coin might not just be a piece of history. It could be your gateway to a small fortune. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight.